This is another instance of netas on a power trip, and this one's come to light from Bengaluru. BJP's Mahadevpura MLA Arvind Limbavali was caught on camera heckling and abusing a woman. Now, the woman had reached there because, remember, large parts of Bangalore are still submerged after incessant rains over the week. This woman was there to protest the fact that her property was wrongly earmarked for demolition. The neta there was assessing the damage that's been caused to the area because of floods. That's when the woman raised her complaint. In return, the minister warned the constituent of dire consequences. The BJP has been going to town saying that the victim in this case is a Congress worker, therefore this has been done for political reasons. An FIR has also been registered against her for obstructing a government servant from discharging his duties. But the basic question that needs to be asked, not least because this has been caught on camera, is because why is this neta behaving almost like a bully, a hooligan, if you will, just because a constituent of his asked some basic questions of him? All right, let me go across to our guests who are joining us on the Talking Point this week. Mr. Mohan Krishna is a political analyst and also representative of the BJP. Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the Congress Party. RK Upadhyay, senior journalist, joining us. Mr. Krishna, I don't want to single out Arvind Limbavali or take, one political party's name or the other. But the fact is that whoever is in power, our MLAs, our MPs, our elected politicians seem to have this thing that they are above the law, that they have some kind of a different set of yardsticks applicable to them that is not applicable to the common citizen. Why was an elected minister here, an elected MLA, not willing to listen to a constituent, answer her questions, but instead he was seen heckling and abusing her? Why?
Good evening, Zaka. Zaka, we have to understand certain things. There is a limitation for everything to explain about a person or to talk about a person. In this context, I am not defending the way in which he.
All right, we've lost that link with Mohan Krishna. I'll try and see if we can establish that in a minute or so. But Aishwarya Mahadev, you want to take that?
Good evening, Zaka. I think let's make one thing very clear. It doesn't matter what political party she comes from. If, for example, even if she was from the BJP itself, even if she was from the JDS, whichever political party is immaterial to the fact that this man has behaved in the most disgusting and heinous manner against a common person who's his constituent. Forget the point that she's a woman who'd come there and he's intimidating her. He's asking for the police to arrest her, and then she's intimidated all around by men there, and she stood her ground. Today, the BJP might come out and try and give you a justification on two things. One, say she's a Congress worker, doesn't take away from the fact that she's wrong. Second, you say she'd encroached something. There is the rule of law. There's due process. You can even, let the law take its course. Let them have an inquiry. There's a formal procedure in which you can do this. So in no circumstance and scenario is this man, who should be ashamed to call himself a public representative, justified in his actions. And Zaka, what is worse? There was an interview right after, and he says, why should I apologize? What have I done? Have I raped her? And if you haven't gotten that visual yet, I'll be more than glad to send it across, because people should know that he spoke like this too, to a local news channel. And then he has the audacity to later on say, I will apologize if she gives up her land which she has encroached, so on and so forth. This is the sort of high-handed, brutish behavior of Limbavali, who, mind you, his daughter showed us precisely the same upbringing as her father recently when she decided to insult our policemen in the city.
Look, I don't want to cast aspersions just because the father has done something, it's a reflection on what the daughter has done. But the fact is, RK Upadhyay, we saw what Limbavali's daughter did a few months ago. Like I said, I don't want to paint a negative picture or, draw up a character profile of someone. But the fact is that there seems to be something penetrative about this attitude that if you are a neta or a neta's progeny, you can do whatever you want and however you please and get away with it. Nobody will do anything to you. Nobody will question you.
3-minute, video, and it's really quite atrocious behavior. I mean, you don't expect a legislator to behave like that. I fully agree with whatever Aishwarya said. I mean, this is not the way that a public representative is supposed to behave with the constituents. I mean, whatever the complaint that lady has, you have to listen to her, whatever your pressures are. But, instead of that, he abuses her and threatens the action against her and tells the police to arrest her. I mean, is it the way that, people's representative is supposed to behave? And I think he was almost behaving like a rowdy. He must have been, watching too much of these Kannada films, KGF 1, KGF 2, or Drona, and he has been influenced by that rowdyism. So this is not expected of a minister or a legislator, especially from the ruling party. And
No,
I
but
hope
is
that the party
it a fair
is-
point? I'm just trying to understand. Is it a mitigating factor at all when the BJP and Mr. Limavli say that this lady in question happens to be a Congress worker?
Not at all, not at all. I mean, so what? So what? She can be from any political party or she need not be from any party. I mean, the fact that she's a citizen and she has a complaint to give. All that if you are very busy with other things, you have to tell her that please come to my office, I'll listen to you. So that
Okay.
is the gentlemanly way of behaving. And this man, instead of that, goes after her. In fact, tries to snatch the paper from her, almost threatening to assault her. I mean, this is totally unbecoming of a minister, and that too when you are in the ruling party. And I hope that the party takes very strict action against him. Ask him to go to that woman and apologize to her. That is the least that he can do.